and its effect on the environment. But rarely do the consumers, manufacturers, or the government talk about the people key to collecting, segregating, and processing the waste. How many of us even pause to think what happens to the waste we generate as we carelessly throw it into the nearest bin or worse, on the street? It is time we humanized waste and put a human face to what happens when you generate waste. Hi, I'm Shekar, and I'm going to share our journey with waste pickers, maybe one of the most marginalized sections of society in an urban setting today. By sheer accident of birth, I had a comfortable middle-class upbringing, was lucky to graduate from IIT and IIM, had a reasonably successful 23 years of corporate career in IT industry in the US and India, followed by an 8-year stint as a professor of marketing. So life was cruising along comfortably. So why did I pivot to working with waste pickers and waste? It was a mid-morning Saturday in 2015 when I was sitting at Hasiru Dala's offices, a not-for-profit that works on social justice for waste pickers, when the teenage daughter of Annamma, a waste picker that they had started working with 4 years ago, walks up to me and gives me a handwritten English invitation to the housewarming ceremony of their brand new own home. In the 4 years, Annamma had gone from a bag-carrying, street-pounding waste picker who had ensured that all her 3 daughters stayed in school and finished high school and bought the land to buy that house, to actually build that house. It was at that point of time that I knew what I had to do for the rest of my life, which is slightly short, but we'll still do it. And thus was born Hasiru Dala Innovations, a for-purpose company that is trying to maximize livelihoods for waste pickers through inclusive business models. So, no. That is Annamma and her family. So, Hasiru Dala Innovations as a company is all about trying to foster entrepreneurship in and create better livelihoods for waste pickers through inclusive business models that have an environmental impact. We are waste picker centric, a circular economy enabler, and a livelihood enhancer. Our current businesses are 3: total waste management services for bulk generators like apartment complexes, corporate campuses, restaurants; event waste management services for personal events like weddings, sporting events like marathons, corporate events like conferences, and even music concerts. And the final business is something similar to Bandit Nation, where we actually export plastic waste, where it goes into the packaging of the body shop's products, right? I'm going to talk about the first one, total waste management services, which also happens to be our largest business at this point of time. And the innovation is very simple. How do you integrate waste picker entrepreneurs into mainstream solid waste management, right? So as a company, we contract with bulk generators for a 1 year or a 3-year term. We have identified waste pickers who can become entrepreneurs, buy them a truck, they do the primary collection, we pay them a fixed monthly fee plus an incentive for SLA meeting, and made them professional service providers. 2, from a logistics perspective, Absenteeism is a big deal. Here, because it's a small unit, he's able to manage absenteeism. Second, we buy the truck for him, which becomes his after 4 years. So we create an asset for him, and he looks after his truck better than if it was company owned, right? So he generates about 7 to 9 predictable livelihoods per truck that he runs. The other innovation was in terms of pricing model. So we have a pay-as-you-throw model based on the polluter pays principle, where the client pays highest for what we call rejects or mixed waste, lower for segregated wet, and lowest for segregated dry. This incentivizes better segregation at source, because if it is mixed, I charge him the highest. This actually has led us to 95% segregation quality across all our clients. So one of the big deals is, can you scale this model? We have grown, I think, reasonably well. We should close this year at 10.5 crores. Of course, financial growth is one thing, but really what keeps us going is impact like this. Lothford, who was our first waste picker entrepreneur, started with us. Today owns 3 trucks, generated 21 predictable livelihoods for waste pickers. He's got a loan for a kinetic Honda. He's getting a working capital loan now, and he's buying land to build his own home. That is the quantum change in quality of life that one can give by just creating access to markets and opportunity. That's all we have done. The hard work is done by Lothford and not by us. Overall, we have 23 waste picker entrepreneurs, created more than 360 livelihoods, 2 to 4 times increase in incomes, asset creation in the form of a truck, reduced volatility in PET prices, better working condition, access to clean waste, which is interesting. Environmental impact, 460 clients, 35,000 families actually segregating at source, 31,000 tons of waste diverted away from landfills and responsibly managed. Non-recyclable plastics co-processed in the cement factories. This year alone, we'll be doing about 1,250 tons of multi-layered plastic. What's the road ahead for us? Obviously, we want to get to more cities, which cities have to change certain policies and be open about inviting people like us. The other is, we want to expand our plastic segregation. We want to go up the value chain and set up biogas plants, as well as plastics recycling with more FMCG brands. I just want to talk a little about this. We have a not-for-profit and a company. The not-for-profit focuses on social justice. The company focuses on economic justice, both of which are required to improve quality of life. And that is what we are about. This is the team. Nalini Shekar is sort of the force. She's worked from child labor to human trafficking in the US. And finally, what we are working with are the unsung heroes of people who manage your waste, right? We call them young wasters, people who take waste and make something out of it and also create a livelihood for themselves. Thank you.